The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
When I think about those nights in Montreal, all I think about is weed. Memories of city lights and packing bowls. Oh, we tried to legalize it. Hey, so here we are.
Going, babe?
I'm good. So this is our first night live on the network. So
Woo!
welcome to CannaQuebec Connection. Yeah, Al's done a wonderful job setting up all our stuff, and
It's
we can
amazing.
we can move ourselves around like this, or we can move ourselves around like this, or we can be like this or like this. There's all kinds of crazy stuff we can do.
But
now.
you know what? I can't see you. You could see me, but I can't see you.
Yeah,
What's
I
going
can see you. I can see you.
I wonder why I can't see you.
I don't know, but I can see you.
Okay.
I don't know why you can't see me, but I can definitely see you.
Peace
and
and
so
love,
can
baby.
everybody else on the network, right? Because we are actually on the Pace Radio Network page. We're on YouTube. We're on our Facebook page. We're
Wow.
on another Facebook, paceradio.net.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we're vibing it tonight, baby.
We are like all over the world.
Well,
We are
you know
on
what?
social media.
Al saying our numbers aren't as bad as I thought they were, so that's good because I'm not one to really give two craps about, numbers and that kind of stuff. So, but it was nice to see that, we've got somebody listening.
Well, you and I are listening.
Right. So are you all settled in? You moved. Let's get our.
I'm settled in, but right now I'm cat sitting, and the cat I'm sitting is very much looks like it could be the sister to your cat. Her name's Mishka. She's a really cute
Mishka.
cat. Yeah, she's
Nice.
very cute, and she was sitting all over my stomach and chest for a long time. I felt like she abandoned her owner pretty quickly, and took to me very nicely. The second time I've looked after, and it's really nice because I get the whole place to myself. Because as you know, I have moved in with my daughter and my teen grandchildren, which has been amazing. But it's been an adjustment because I'm so used to being a loner stoner, but it's good. We've had a few little hiccups, but I'm really enjoying hanging out with them, and I really want to have good positive moments with them so they have good memories.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome, possum. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's been pretty. I had Taven back to school for the full last week and this week, so that started this week, which is great. Yeah, it's just been kind of, I don't know, 12 days of Taven, right? So I know what it's
well,
like
well,
to
and
get
also,
kids.
also your man got a fantastic new truck and just got it smucked by a deer, which really sucks.
That's our life. It'll be
I
fixed.
know.
It's fine. I'm just not even gonna
It's
think about it right
it's
now.
rural life. I know that it's rural life, which is challenging. These are the challenges, but it really does suck that after just such a short time. But thank God he's okay, and thank God you
Yeah,
have
everybody's
insurance.
the crew is with him. He's fine. The truck's not, but like I said, it's fixable, right? It's just a truck. As long as
Right,
he's okay and the crew's okay, that's all that really matters. Like I said, it's
that's
insured to
true.
the fucking nuts, right? Like I mean, he's got every insurance on it you can imagine. So, it'll get managed. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I'm just thankful everybody's okay. But anything really new in the news besides Chris Como being fired? What the fuck?
I mean, that's big news. That's
It
big
is,
news. A lot of people considered him, their TV boyfriend.
right?
And
Right? I love Chris Como. Like seriously, I watch CNN, not for Anderson Cooper because Anderson's good. But I watched CNN for Chris, and I watched CNN for D Lemon. Like, I just love D. Like, I think he's the best thing since sliced bread. But Chris was like before D Lemon, right? So Don
They
Lemon,
had a nice, they had a nice thing going. Like
the bromance, yeah.
I noticed, yeah, a bromance kind of thing, like two straight dude. No, D Lemon's not, but
D's no.
but Chris Como, after he got COVID, I noticed that he started like telling Don Lemon that he loved him. You know what I mean, on TV, like a
His
friend. Like
mortality was.
it was very sweet, and they started doing that handoff, and apparently Chris Como was the most successful, of all the whatever nighttime newscasts. His was the most successful. Definitely, super smart guy. And I don't know, it's kind of sad what's happened. Now there's like some allegations of some sexual misconduct. I
Oh,
don't
I didn't hear
know.
about that.
Oh man, I don't know. Like it, and I just,
Well,
you
like,
know
it
what I
just seems
wish?
like it's. And here's my thing too. Like, it's just everywhere. Like, you got Aaron O'Toole kicking one of his MPs under the bus. You know what I mean?
Which
Who's a
one?
woman.
Which one? I missed that.
Shannon Syrup. She's out of Bakerville, Alberta. And she was
Okay.
one of the MPs that spoke up right after the election that wanted his leadership was kind of, like
Review.
questioning his, wanting the review, right?
Okay.
Well, now all of a sudden, there's all kinds of allegations of not sexual misconduct, but like verbal abuse, purses being thrown in the office, menial tasks being done by, being paid for by the taxpayers. So, and it's just kind of coincidental. But again, this all leads back to the infighting that goes on in the parties. And then we still ask questions and we don't get the answers. Like, where's the cannabis money?
Oh yeah. Well, is anyone
Right?
asking that? Is anyone asking that besides you
No,
and I? I
probably
mean,
not.
no.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I would have to wonder who's not. But I know somebody. I actually there was an article that came up on Facebook, and there was a comment about it, and it was about like cannabis and like there's all these taxes, and I said I commented that's the smartest comment I've seen all day. Is where's the cannabis money? When
Right.
when you're talking about taxes, when you're talking about all these businesses are paying for income tax and they're paying, they're paying GST and they're paying PST. And again, we know that the res are charging GST. Where the fuck's the cannabis money? We've got billions of dollars that are going to be needed to fix BC. Like that's never mind Nova Scotia, never mind the bullshit. Like this country's falling into climate disasters, and we've got at least cannabis to money generating too. But like I said, where's the fucking money?
What's the latest on BC? And I know that they're saying the flooding, the damage, the costs are extraordinary beyond, what anyone's comprehended up to this point. So where are we at with that, bud?
Pretty extensive. I mean, I'm not there, right? So me being so far away, all I'm seeing is the same thing everybody else across Canada is seeing on the news. So what the reality of is, you have to talk to actually somebody who's on the ground there, and I don't know anybody that's from that area. And I hope that everybody, but just from what I'm seeing, their houses aren't being covered by insurance because they don't have overland flooding. They've got like surface flooding, but not overland. Natural disaster, which is always a way for every insurance company to cop out of anything. Natural disaster. You can't get anything because it was a natural act of God. Like that was when I heard when my daughter got hit in the head with a rock off a Kimmer Forestry truck when she was 4 and ended up in the hospital. The insurance company said it was an act of God.
What the hell's up? Well, so what? That's what people.
But they wouldn't.
That's what happens.
That was the reason. That's the reason why we couldn't go after Kimmer Forestry. We couldn't go after anybody. We could go after my Goofax's fucking sister's insurance and insurance company, and they encouraged us to do that, but I never did. And then, like I said, I went and got a lawyer, and the lawyer said, "Oh, it's an act," and then the court said it's an act of God. What the fuck's an act of God?
Yes.
When did anything in the court or anything in legality become an act of fucking God?
I mean, you could say everything's an act of God. Like, sadly, this kid that shot up, 4
So much stuff
You
in the last
know, so
week, hey? Like
much.
there's
Yeah,
just like
no,
so
it's
much.
awful. Like you
And
could
of
say
course, one
that's
of
an
my
act of God. I mean, you could say everything's an act of God. That's just the most lame
And of course,
excuse
the
ever.
only TikTok that goes viral on my TikTok is one of me with JT announcing the immediate fucking, there's no more guns, automatic weapons allowed in Canada, blah, blah. So much fucking backlash off that. Like, there's probably 75 comments of somebody bitching about their rights to own a fucking gun. And I says, yeah, you can have a gun. I'm a gun owner too. Like, what's your point? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we lived on a farm. We had coyotes. Like, so what? Like, I was a gun owner too. Like, what's your fucking point? I
Hmm.
didn't need no automatic fucking military weapon to shoot a coyote. No more than you need a military style weapon to shoot a fucking elk or a deer. And I do believe that we all have a right to bear arms too. We're not the United States, but I still believe that. But again, who are we protecting ourselves from? Like, what do you need a gun for self-defense? If you live in the city, I guess if you're in downtown Toronto, I tell you what, I wouldn't have a long gun. I'd have a fucking handgun stuffed underneath my bed. Legally, of course, if because you can actually attain a legal handgun in Canada. You have to, go through the courses, and you have to actually like get your PAL and do the steps, and there's regulations to get them. But I still don't understand what an assault rifle is. But again, wherever the Indigenous have made a good point. Why are our CMPs standing out there at Wissouin? Oh, we didn't do that. We didn't recognize we're on Ktunaxa territory. I'm recognizing we're on Ktunaxa territory. Sorry. But like, why are the RCMP out there with the assault rifles, fucking standing on Wissouin land? Why do they need those big guns too for unarmed fucking protesters? So you want to regulate the guns, JT? You better regulate them through everything, because there's no reason why those guys need to be in tactical fucking gear. None of those Indigenous people out there are fucking armed. Not one of them. There's no guns out there. You can guarantee none of those Indigenous people have fucking assault rifles tucked in their tent.
I wish like a lot of protests that I attended in Montreal, there was a military, look, and this started to become more apparent after a
The
G20
G20,
in
yeah,
Toronto,
in Toronto, yeah.
and
It started becoming
this
more
is just
apparent
so
after
wrong.
9/11. And this is when it started becoming apparent. It was after
Just so
9/11,
wrong.
Loretta. And it was after 9/11 on all levels of both sides of the border, when the
Right.
borders were locked down, when Canadians all of a sudden required passports to get into the United States. Homeland Security came in. We've got an FBI office in Vancouver. You and I goddamn well both know this, because we talk about this in the cannabis industry all the time, or when we were doing cannabis, activism and stuff, because we knew the FBI and the DEA are in our own country too, when they're American agencies, just like our agencies go back and forth across that border. The border security intermingles. They can fucking look us up as quickly on their computer to see if we got a passport as we can look up them. And at one point in time, they couldn't do that. Once they
But
made this,
it escalates, right? Like it's like when you see, like when you're a protester, as I've been all my life, and then you start to see, like, it looks like, it looks like a war when I mean, it's just so wrong. So so of course, and then there's more guns. And in Montreal, we've had like in the last couple weeks, we've had like these gangs, youngsters, they're like teenagers, and they're like assassinating people, to get in the gang. It's called scoring. Like, it's just terrible. I mean, the world is, in a bad place. We say this every week, but it's true. We can't be in denial.
no, I
But
know.
man, do we ever need, like, we need to come out of
And
the
that's the thing.
darkness.
You being in Montreal and me being here, I don't see the same violence. To be fair,
Right.
because I mean, I'm in a small city in east or southeast British Columbia. You're in Montreal. You're in the hub. Like I said, it was the Polytech in Montreal 32
Yes.
years ago that those women were shot. What's in
Yeah.
Ottawa, that guy tried breaking, came in with a semi-automatic weapon into our Parliament Hill, into our house. Trudeau's Rideau Hall was broken into by in a truck with automatic and long gun rifles. Like, we don't talk about, you don't hear the Canadians talking about the attempted assassination of Justin Trudeau, because it was like, oh, well, who gives a shit? It's just Justin Trudeau. Yeah. That pisses me
Yeah.
off, because that guy
Yeah.
drove through those gates with
Yeah.
full intent to do harm.
Yeah, no, look, it's all escalating. There's no question. I mean, you and I watch probably too much CNN, although in my new place I can't get it. But now, as I'm cat sitting, I'm getting my,
You're fixed on the
I'm getting,
CNN.
I'm getting it all day long. It's, whatever. But it's, so it's crazy what's going on, in the U.S. with these, white supremacists, these white nationals. They're like really, escalating. And even, people I know have speculated if, this kid who shot up his school in Michigan, if
Yeah.
his parents were part of a
That
militia,
was
like the
also
way
the
that
same,
they
exactly.
acted.
That was the same state that with the Michigan governor, where that they caught that group of 8 men that were, or 10
Yeah,
men that
yeah,
were going to
yes,
zip tie the governor and kidnap her and kill her and her family. Same state.
I
And the
know.
thing, and here's another thing with that case. That poor child was left. His parents abandoned him pretty much. They've got a paid for lawyer, and the kid's got a fucking public defender. That's what a pieces of shit his parents are. Like, you know what I mean? But here's another thing that's going to be on CNN this week. There's a marijuana. They're investigating marijuana legalization in the States. So CNN also has a special coming up. I think it's Saturday night on the legalization of cannabis in the United States. So they are looking at legalization. And I was talking to somebody in Texas, and apparently it's decriminalized in Texas. I didn't know that, but apparently it is.
Well,
So
it's most. I don't know how many states it is now. But I'm surprised, Biden has alluded to federally doing it,
well,
which will.
Schumer has come out and said it a few times. But like I said, on Saturday night, I think it was on CNN, there's going to be a special about what they're looking at and some medical, and it talks about the medical benefits for kids with autism. And I
Okay.
think that's what it's mainly about is, and how this one father's talking about the fact that he could be arrested any day for a felony because he's giving his daughter cannabis, but it helps her with her autism and epilepsy. So this is another, like I said, something else coming on CNN this weekend. I'll have to keep you posted on to
Yeah. No,
when and what
I'll
time.
to watch it this weekend. That's good.
Yeah. But I think I seen that last night because I did watch last night. They had a special on about the Charlestown protests and that Richard Field, the leader, and how he's remorseful now. Not like there's only a few of them Proud Boys that are remorseful that actually changed their white supremacist ways that started that whole
Oh yeah,
QAnon
there's
and
a
that
couple
whole
of them that have
resurrection.
like
Well, that's because
recanted.
they're being charged.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're like getting sued for money,
They
money,
are. They're all
money.
being
Yeah.
sued, civilly sued, and there's like fucking 8 of them. But they had another special like that one on CNN again last night about that. So the white supremacists are being sued civilly in the States. And I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, yeah, suing in the States, everybody's suing in the States. You know what? If it means they're going to be held accountable in some
Yeah.
fucking form of way. But the best was when them 3 fuckers got nailed with that fucking with murder. Like all 3 of them. Murder. Like,
Mhm.
it,
Yeah, the Arbery case in, I believe, it was in Georgia.
yeah.
I know if that had not gone that way, I think there would have been such protests and mayhem. But yeah, how could it? How could they not be charged with
No.
murder? I mean, but
Right.
and I wonder too, like with this kid in Michigan, like if he was inspired by Kyle Rittenhouse, you know what I mean, and his parents, like. I mean, this is the first time that the parents have actually been charged.
Yeah.
So this sends a good, clear, strong message. I
I
mean,
have to wonder. Like I
it's
said,
really astounding how
the parents
stupid
have
they
gotten
were.
themselves a paid for lawyer. They've lawyered right up, paying fucking large for them, and they leave the 15-year-old to flounder with a legal defender. They left. They were heading to Canada apparently.
Were
Like,
they?
yeah, apparently they couldn't get across the border because they weren't vaccinated.
Wow. Oh, wow. That just says so much. Wow. Wow. I mean,
Right.
that's
So,
the only reason they couldn't get across the border.
well,
Fuck.
yeah, because nobody had alerted anything else. Like
This
they weren't
is.
being charged yet. They hadn't been charged yet. So when they tried leaving, when they got any whiff of anything was going on, it's like they didn't even know they were being charged. Their son was in jail. Their son was being charged as an adult. It was like, fuck him, we're out of here. Like, you know what I mean? They
Wow.
weren't even gonna look back. They're heading to Canada. The only thing that stopped them getting into Canada was vaccination status. So they couldn't get across the border. But they were
How's that
definitely,
for anti-vax
no, but they were
karma?
definitely bailing on.
Woo!
There's a kid. Like, what kind of parent buys their kid a fucking gun to begin with for Christmas at 50 and a handgun?
15.
Okay, you know
15
what?
years
I'm
old.
not saying that a child under perfect supervision at the age of 8 shouldn't be having his own,
Yeah,
depending on
but
where
a
he lives.
handgun,
Not a
like,
handgun,
I
a
mean, you know
rifle,
what I
like a
mean?
little 22 shotgun or
Oh,
something. Like I said, Taven's shot a gun by the time he was 10 years old. Like him
yeah.
and
You
they
guys
were
live
the
in the
kids,
country, and it's not a
right?
handgun.
But it was a 22 shotgun, right? No, so but we didn't give the kid a here's your first shotgun at 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he still doesn't have a gun. You know what I mean? Like he's shot one, but he doesn't have one. I wouldn't
right.
give my 15-year-old kid a fucking handgun. Who in their right mind fucking thinks that way? But the thing
But
is,
it's not
they
even
do.
that. The
They
fact that
do.
they went to the school because the kid was showing all these signs. He was like drawing pictures and writing comments that he can't stop thinking about killing people. He was searching for ammunition, and and even had his gun in his backpack when his parents were called in. All of these like major red flags, and then there's a text of his mother,
Yeah, saying I'm
laughing
not
and
mad,
saying,
just
"I'm
don't
not
get
mad.
caught.
You just got to learn how to not get caught." But now
Right?
she's,
Like,
now they're all on suicide watch, apparently. You know, like, wow. It's incredible, but I'm glad they charged the parents as they should be charged
like I said, you can't
with
make this shit up.
stupidity. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you can't make this shit up. So I was talking to Al today too, and he went and on the Roofer Reporters today, he bought himself his first legal beverage
Mm.
from the legal store because he went and dropped off some magazines and stuff that yeah.
What did he get?
It's called Kiss because he can't drink. He doesn't like iced tea and he can't drink carbonation. So it's called Kiss and it's in this little bottle. It's like a shot. And so he took it during the Reefer Reporter today, and he said he got a buzz off of it.
And it's like a little,
Like those, those 5-hour shots or whatever you get, or
sure.
those
Yeah.
little fucking energy shots you can buy in the front of the
Yes.
counter. It's kind of like that, and it's called Kiss. It was in a black, with nothing fancy, black container. Oh, yay, like yay big. But yeah,
What,
he said
what was
it
it
was
made
alright.
out of? What was it? What
He
is?
didn't say. I'll have to ask him. But he
Okay.
said it
Yeah,
was okay. He said it was all right.
that's interesting.
And he didn't
I've
smoke anything
wondered.
before either. Like he was like when I was talking to him, he was just going to smoke his first joint because he just didn't. He drank it in the morning during Reefer Report, and it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He was just going to smoke his first joint.
Mm.
So
But I assume that if you got it at a store, it's not very strong, right? Like 10
it would
milligrams.
be
I
it
don't
would
know.
be under the regulations of maximum 10 milligrams, I would imagine, or whatever the cap is 30. I'm not sure. To
Yeah.
be fair, I've never looked at any of the edibles. I've never
I thought
bothered.
it was 10. I thought like everything had to be 10
That's
for some
probably it.
reason.
I don't know. Like I said, I buy these from the store, and it's like clear distillant. Like this one's almost empty, but it's a gram.
I can't
30.
see you, so I don't know
Oh
what
right, no, you can't, but everybody else can, right?
What
Because
is it that you buy?
it's a vape. It's with the vape tips. Those vape tips that I
Okay.
buy, right?
Yeah.
But I buy these, and they're like $39.
Okay. Have you ever bought any drinks? Have you ever tried a
No,
drink?
no.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
curious. I'm curious about them. Like, it'll be interesting to see who comes out with the best ones.
Well, like I said, I'm not sure. Even it was Kiss, KISS was the brand. Because
Mm-hmm.
they do have the brands on them, right? They do put their branding on them, but their brands aren't fancy. Like they have to be like pretty, generic.
Yeah.
Because this is like Ninja Fruit, right, by Ness, and this
Okay.
is the branding, and this is their logo. You can't
All
see
right.
it, but everybody else can, right? So
Okay.
this is the branding for Ness, but it's nothing fancy. Like it's NESS, and that's it. Like it's not even. It's generic font. It's in a purple package, rather than a black one. It's more of a burgundy packaging. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's got this was for some cannabis I picked up last week or the week before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not smoking as much. This was nice dreams. It was all right. I'm just not smoking as much. I'm not finding it's being very effective, to be
Well,
fair.
it's good to take breaks. I'm on a break, as you know, and
Yeah.
no,
No, I'm
sometimes
just
we
like
gotta take
not like,
breaks to reset, so that we can.
and I can't, like I said, I can't do mushrooms. I don't like them. I don't want to even like, oh, microdose. No, I've tried that too. It does nothing for me. It doesn't make me feel any better. It just makes me feel like I'm crawling out of my skin. So it
Well,
makes me more anxious,
not
right?
for everyone. It's not for everyone, right?
No.
Just like other psychedelics aren't for everyone as well. You know,
I
that's
wouldn't even know where to begin with anything else, and I'm good. Like I said, I'd rather
well. Have you
not.
ever had, for example, I was speaking with a friend earlier, and she's in Vancouver helping her mom. Her mom's sick, and I told her to check out the Coca Leaf Cafe. Have you ever tried coca leaf tea?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I have. It's really pleasant and it's really mild. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot of things that. And have you ever tried kratom? Because I was wondering about kratom. I was
No.
thinking maybe I'd try some for my pain issues. But
I've heard that both are highly addicting. So
what
I
kratom
say,
and kratom?
yeah, yeah. Kratom is something that they use to like for opioid addiction, right? So they'll put you on kratom after like people will try getting off opioid addiction for using kratom, and then I hear that people get
Oh, I
addicted to
didn't know
kratom.
that.
Yeah,
Not, but coca leaf tea, I don't think is. I
I'd
mean,
stay away from that myself just because of my past with cocaine. I would stay totally away from that myself, personally.
okay.
That's my
Yeah,
take on it. Anything with
sure.
any derivative like that for me would be a big fat no. It'd be like me, eating a rum filled fucking chocolate if I was an alcoholic. I wouldn't want that either. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand that. It's just I just found the tea. It was not that different from other herbal tea. You know, that's
Yeah.
how I experienced it. But I was never ever interested in cocaine, so maybe that's
Right.
why.
Yeah. And
You
like I
know.
said, that's maybe it's not the same. But it's anything that I feel that would be anything along a derivative of cocaine. Once you had an addiction to that, you'd want to stay away from. That's just my take on it. Like I said, I could be totally wrong on that. But
Well,
for
I don't
me
know. I mean,
personally,
maybe
I'm like,
I always yeah, I always thought
put
maybe
the
it could
brakes
help
on.
people instead of taking cocaine. But I think, I mean,
If
originally.
you know what, if you were addicted and trying to come off of cocaine, it might be
Mhm.
helpful with the withdrawal so that you're kind of weaning yourself off of cocaine.
Right.
So at that point in time, sure. But I think if you're somebody that doesn't use cocaine, I don't know if you'd want to start drinking it.
Well,
Like
it's
maybe become
people
habit
that,
forming too, right? Like you just don't know.
sure. I mean, the people of Peru who use it to like are mountain people, and for one thing, it is like it's very sacred to them, just like tobacco is with our indigenous people. Like
Right?
they use it in prayer, but they also use it to stave off hunger, right?
Yeah.
And
Because that's
so,
what
I mean,
cocaine does to you too. You don't eat when you fucking snort cocaine. It
right,
works off your hunger too, right?
right, right,
Just
right,
saying.
right. No, but I
Okay, we
mean,
gotta
that's
we're gonna here in about 2 minutes we gotta take a break for
okay.
we got commercials on this
All
actually.
right.
I know, isn't that awesome?
And did everyone get to hear your beautiful voice?
Yeah,
That's
Al's
cool.
got it. I can't believe you can't see that. Like I'm not understanding why because Al when we had our little thing here
It's fine
today,
that I don't, it's fine as long as other people can, because I think it's cool that
because
you
you're in the
promote your
studio at the
voice.
you know what? I think it could be because you're on your phone and I'm on a computer. Like
Maybe.
and I'm on because I'm on my computer and you're on your phone. I've never done StreamYard on my phone. So I don't know what the format is on a phone. Like I said, I can see and hear you. So can everybody else. Everybody else can see and hear you. So you can't see me, but they can see and hear me too. We're like side by side. You'll have, like I said, go back to the page after and take a peek. Just so you see what it looks like. Because our banner's behind us, like around.
It's
And
lovely.
and then we're just like a little bit of piece of here. There's me here and you there.
It's just lovely.
Yeah. And then when we have a commercial, it kicks
All
us
right.
back. And yeah, but yeah, no, like I said, I'll set it up, and then the closing is just a generic closing, so that everybody uses because the reefer report's done on here now. Um, what else? The Pace Radio show's done on here now, and then the others have a couple other shows on here too. So you know what I mean? Like there's I don't know 4 or 5 shows on here now.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, and like I said, we just jumped on. I think there's only one left that's not. And then I've got cannabis and coffee with marijuana that I'm not sure what I'm doing with yet. Like
Okay.
I said, I talked to you about maybe gathering 3 other activists and doing a panel, but like I said, it would be a matter of being committed. Like I'm not going to start doing a show on Wednesday morning again, start it again and have 3 people that are committed to come in with me, and then 2 weeks down the road have them say, sorry, I can't do this. Right. This is a commitment. Like I've been like, same with Al, like we've talked about this. Like this is something I've been doing for 6 years. Al's been doing it for a decade. Like I said, once you get into this, we want to be able to, so trying to find for other people that want to be involved as long. Like, I mean, you're always in, like I can call you anywhere, anytime. It's like, yeah, I'm here. But again, having like, say 2 other people. And like I said, would want it to be like diverse. So, a couple guys, 2, one other woman, you and 2 other guys, like, so that we're not, and bouncing back, but have sections for recipes and, like even just like the view, round table of 4 people sitting around, like educating and sharing recipes and sharing stories about, the first time I got stoned, man, that stuff, people have all kinds of different experiences, but not have to worry about getting guests. That's why I shut down the Cannabis and Coffee with Marijuana, because it was just too difficult to get guests. People are busy, or they're not wanting to advertise what they're doing, or they're involved in legal market and they're under NDR and they can't talk about what they're doing. And that's what I found along the way. Like a lot of people that are involved in the cannabis industry don't want to be public about, or their company doesn't want them being on any other media, or they've got intent to do their own media and they have their own podcasts and their own media. So they don't feel the need to do a media like us because they've got their own, So again, like it was getting really difficult to find guests or people that were actually doing anything at all, to be fair. And like I said, anybody in the black market doesn't want to be on showing their faces and talking about what they're doing for fear of persecution too. It's, if they're still doing that, that's the reality of it, right?
That's true.
Just because it's legal, it doesn't mean that you can overgrow and you can sell. It's all under regulation now, right? Unless you're
in the black market here.
Oh, there's not very many here left anymore either, I don't think. Well, there's a few, I'm sure, but I think everybody's just changed to a different drug to sell. And I'm not into that kind of sales, and I'm not into that kind of drugs, so I'm good.
You think a lot of people who sold cannabis sell other drugs now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I absolutely think that that's the reason why our drug overdose crisis has gotten worse than what it was. Is because everybody that was originally selling cannabis is now selling fucking fentanyl and cocaine and Drano and whatever they can fucking smash up and put in a flap. And I honestly believe that because the people that were selling cannabis that I know weren't people that had jobs. Again, there are people that sold cannabis like myself that had a full-time job. They sold a little bit of pot on the side to make a couple extra bucks. But there are people that were always selling other drugs with the cannabis. Now they don't have the cannabis. They're just selling more of whatever they had access to. And that's their right. There's always going to be a black market, whether it's cannabis, whether it's coke, whether it's tobacco, whether it's ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of this fucked up world that we live in.
Oh, yeah.
And on that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back so we can thank our sponsors.
Okay.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go. CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
The Pace Radio Network is the place to be for all your information from the world of psychedelics, because we are pleased to bring our listeners 2 shows focusing on psychedelic therapy in the world of natural medicine. First up, we have Open Your Eye, which airs on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month. Open Your Eye is a 90-minute video podcast with Kim Cooper and Cindy Howell interviewing patients and professionals in the space. Patient stories, facilitators, lawyers, and others discuss their journeys and endeavors involving psychedelic medicine. But they're not done, because Kim and Cindy are back on alternate Tuesdays at 7 p.m. with Psychedelic Reporters as they bring along the show's mascot, Bufo, aka the Colorado Mud Toad, who is scouring the news wires for all the latest in psychedelic news. He then passes it on to Kim and Cindy to cover in this 60-minute video news podcast. So tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for Psychedelic Tuesdays right here on the Pace Radio Network, found at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Kitty cat, what you
All
doing?
right, we are back.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah, around all kinds of like different sponsors. Al's got like sponsors. I wish you could see it. Like I said, you're gonna have to go back and take a look because he's got it set up. And now we can, we've got 3 different sponsor setups, but that shows Legacy 420 and all our sponsors.
Nice. Like, so some nice visuals come on.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
Al's got it set up pretty cool indeed. He does.
I mean, that's what I love about this format and what Al's done in Pace. The fact that, I feel like hearing cannabis commercials is a real sign of the legacy of all the hard work towards legalization, and that's what's awesome about Pace.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
hi JR is watching again. Yeah, I guess online, like there still is the online market. Like I still get emails from online park cargo and other ones like that too. So there is black market, online market, which is, all the power to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like for me, like I said, the last show, the only thing I like really about legalization market is the fact that I don't have to phone somebody and fucking wait 20 hours or try and hunt somebody down, meet them in a sketchy alley. I can just go down to the store, pick up what I need, come home and open it up and fucking smoke it.
Yeah.
And off.
Well, there's a lot of benefits. Like that is a big one for sure.
I know I'm not going to get fucking pulled over because I make sure I put it in my trunk. I always put it in the back. Like even with the Volkswagen, I take the little bag and I'd open my hatch and throw it in the back. Just, just in case somebody's watching, because the store's right across from 2 fairly busy restaurants. Right. So there's people everywhere. So if you don't just go throw it on your front seat, that's not technically legal. So I always made sure I threw it in the back hatch of my fucking vehicle just so I was legal. So even if I got pulled over, ain't fuck all they can do. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's legal. It's in the back of my car. It's stored where it's supposed to be. See you later. Right. Mm-hmm. And I know that even if I went down somewhere else, like down to the res and I came back in town with that, I'd probably get nailed for possession of illicit cannabis. because that's what they would charge you with. But I mean, again, I don't think anybody's looking for it. I don't think the cops are out scoping around going, "Oh, that guy just bought some pot. We better go pull him over." I don't think they got fucking. They don't. I don't think they care. I don't. They've got no time for that shit.
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah, especially here now because there's so much gun violence going on in Montreal, which is a fairly new phenomena for Montreal, and that they're so young, these kids.
See, we're not hearing about that out west. Like, to be fair, that's the first time I'm hearing about all this gun. But to be fair, the same shit's going on in Vancouver. Because I've got a girlfriend that lives right downtown Vancouver, and there's guns popping off downtown Vancouver, downtown east side all the time too. There's gang wars and stuff going on there in Surrey. We're not hearing about all of the gun violence that are going on in the big cities. And that's super unfortunate, but that's the truth of the matter. And in Calgary too, there's been shootings in Calgary, fucking restaurants shot up. Like, it's getting bad. And I mean, thankfully, nobody's gone into a school and done it yet. Is the operative word, because like they were saying in the States, how many copycats, how many other threats did they have after that shooting? The sheriff came on and said there was hundreds of other threats that were thrown out there, copycats, other things they had to chase down to make sure that nobody else was hurt. So I don't know. We got some pretty strict gun regulations up here, but with the way I look at it too is the unhinged are out there already because of COVID. We've got so many unstable people that believe that their rights and freedoms are being taken already. You know what I'm saying? So then you add guns to that, and it causes a little bit of alarm. Like I said, why does everybody feel they need to arm themselves? Who do they think they're protecting themselves from? Because you have to wear a mask. I don't understand that. But again, everybody's mental health is not. It's teetering. I do believe that our country is teetering.
Well, not the world is. The world is teetering.
Yeah. And I wish that though everybody said, "Oh, just smoke cannabis. It'll make all our problems go away." I wish that was the solution.
We're doing better than most countries. We have a high vaccination rate.
Do.
It's really good.
I agree, JR.
We're keeping it together better than other countries, but the whole world is kind of, teetering. And some, some countries, can't even get the vaccination. I mean, they're in really bad shape. But, as long as...
But they've got hesitancy over there, too. And that's another thing. Like, they say they're screaming for these vaccinations. That's once they get them, people don't want to take them. Because they've got hesitancy over there too. Look at Belgium. Look at France. Like, look at all these countries that we've got all these huge protests, and they're like
Germany has like a much lower rate of vaccination than we do. Yeah,
well, they're comparing it to the Holocaust and all Germany. I just find that so disgusting.
It's a danger of misinformation, lies, fucking Putin.
The same propaganda. It's a propaganda wheel that they started spreading back then too. All this misinformation and propaganda. And that's again what's happening. Misinformation and propaganda. Like, and somebody asked me, well, who do you believe? Well, I'm believing the scientists to begin with. Like, I don't believe that these people that I'm watching on TikTok are being paid. Especially some woman that I listened, that's a virologist in Edmonton, that is at home raising her 2 adopted children from Africa. And she's a virologist. She's a PhD. She's not a doctor. She's not a medical doctor. That's not what she reads reviews and does peer reviewing and that kind of database investigating, right?
What's she saying? What's her narrative? Like,
she's pro-vaccine, and she'll break it down for you exactly what it's all about in layman terms. Her name's Lynn. Dr. Lynn, and she's on TikTok. And like I said, there's a few really great creators on TikTok that are doctors, that are actual medical doctors that'll talk to you about COVID. There's medical ICU nurses that will talk to you, but there are actual PhD virologists on there too. Actually, one of them.
What is she saying about the Omicron? I mean, I've heard.
She hasn't said much in the last couple of days because she hasn't read enough about it. There's not enough information about it.
Right.
So when people have asked her those questions, she is still doing some of her own reading and research and data gathering for whatever institute that she works for. She's actually a working virologist and data and whatever editor, whatever the hell they do, because I don't know what she does. Like, to be fair, I don't know what she's reading codes and stuff, and I couldn't read that stuff. She's super smart. Let's put it that way. But like I said, her husband as well. He's yeah, they're both entomologists and virologists.
Mm-hmm.
And she has worked in a lab. She's just not working in a lab now. But you have to work in a lab for 5 years to get the PhD that she's got.
Right. Yeah,
So
a lot of people really trying to make it easy for people to understand why it's so important. And I mean, the information constantly changes.
well,
They
science is
don't
ever
know
evolving,
if,
right?
there seems to be some protection with the vaccination because now they're starting to talk a lot about some countries will allow you to, I guess, get like a pass if you've had COVID and you've recovered. So they're going to say, yes, you have some immunity. But they don't know if people who've had COVID have immunity against this Omicron yet.
Yeah,
But
they don't know.
they think that those who are vaccinated have some protection.
Yeah.
We don't know too much.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, like I said, there's so much unknown, and I don't care what you. I'm just staying home. I'm just, you know what I mean. Like I know that I know that I'm protected. My concern is the 12-year-old. Does he need a third booster? I know they're not offering it yet for boosters for kids 12 and over. But is he going to need a booster? Alvin will definitely need one, and he's waiting on that. I'm not getting it shit, and I'm like,
right. Well, I think they're probably going to come up with a booster that at some point will include, the Delta and the Omicron variants in them, right? Like, I don't know how they'll modify it, but I mean, that's
I
kind
guess
of what
that's the
it
joy
is.
of the mRNA vaccine is that they can actually add protein spikes to it to alter the vaccine. It's fairly easy and simple to do because it's an mRNA vaccine. And like I said, I'll just wait. I'll wait this out. I'm going to wait this out. I'll wear my mask. I'll if I have to go get another damn fucking shot in my ass or wherever, I will go get it. Because I'm not, like I said, I need to, I just need.
In reality, it was never going to be easy to vaccinate the whole world in like 1 or 2 years. It never was. But hopefully the good thing that will come out of this is there will be some infrastructure in places like in Africa and other countries that don't have much of a public health infrastructure. Hopefully this is going to build it. And because we're, in a way, the lesson of COVID is it's one, we're all one. And until like the vulnerable and health inequities are addressed, all of us are not really safe. And that's just a reality.
Yeah.
So until then,
well, we're never going to be safe because equality across the world. Like I was watching some shit that's going on in Venezuela. Like I said, we have to quit thinking outside our own boxes because this is even with, like I said, even with all the legalization and regulations and all the stuff that we've done, like what it all boils down to, never mind the virus, is poverty and trauma and all these things that cause society to break down, right? So like, I know we've got to get through this virus, but we also have to get through like the rebuild and restructure. Like I said, never mind the floods and volcanoes that are happening in other, developing countries right now. Like
God, there's so much going on.
Like it's just like, okay, this is it. This is fucking it, man. Like
there's other planets out there though, Wild Tea. I'm sure there's gonna be
how
some
much
good
cannabis
planets.
you got? Like how much weed do you got to smoke? Like that's where I'm at. It's like, my God, like when is this gonna be over? Because again, like I never thought at my age I'd be watching the destruction of this planet. And like I said, the protesting too, like that's disgusting watching what's going on with Wasuitan. Like I just
the world's in a bad place. It's teetering. But I do think it's been in a bad place, before many times. And who knows? I think even
but the US just pissed off China. And I think we're going to
China
go ahead
wants
and
a
piss off
war.
China tomorrow.
Russia's
Russia wants a war. China
Oh,
wants a war.
Russia
They
is
do.
like,
Ukraine, the Russians are sitting on the border of the Ukraine right now just taunting the U.S. and the Chinese are sitting on the border of Taiwan just taunting the U.S. It's like, oh, you pulled out of Afghanistan? What do you want? Which angle do you want? And then you got Iraq down there saying, yeah, well, we're not going to join your missile crisis or, which, and then you got North Korea. So which way do you want to fucking point? And they're all pointing their fucking shit at the U.S.
Well, it's like these are the times where this is a time of diplomacy and being able to communicate, because that's what's required, because things could easily go wrong in Ukraine.
These motherfuckers are right.
We could easily go wrong in Taiwan. And, I mean, you know what? I want to like have this fantasy. Okay, so maybe I need some like really. I don't know, drugs that haven't been invented yet. So maybe that'll be on the next planet we go to. But I want to believe like all these soldiers would, just say, no, fuck off. We're not going to shoot the protesters. And we're not going to like start killing them. No, like, wouldn't that be awesome if the soldiers just said, no, we're not participating. That's it.
Yeah, but those soldiers have to stay true to their
it's
thing,
delusional.
right?
I know it's delusional. But
as much as I like to, think about defunding the police and all these things, we need them. Like, I hate to say that, but like you said, with all the gun violence that you're dealing with and the gangs and everything else, like of course, the systematic racism has to be broken down, and we need more trauma therapy people. We need more social workers also involved, but we cannot defund those bases of law and order.
I think they should have used a different term, like refunding. Like, I do think it's an unfortunate.
I just don't believe in the whole defund thing. I just don't. I like I said, because, and it's not because maybe it's my conservative side talking, because I do sway that way sometimes. I hate to say it. I'm a bit of a centralist. But in reality, like you said, you're talking about gun violence. Everybody's like talking about, well, you got to stop the illegal importation of these fucking guns. So as you're saying that out of one side of your fucking face, you're saying defund out of the other side of your face. So figure out what side of the face you're talking out of, because you can't, it's like, would you put makeup on both those fucking faces? Like, seriously, what side are you talking out of? You can't have it both ways. You just cannot have it both ways.
I think that we could change the police and we can make it better. And it's kind of like also going back to the beginning of our conversation, the fact that they kept ramping up militarization. Protesting should be considered a pillar of democracy and not be met with like, we're going to war. So that was this has been something
like I said, that's wrong. Because of like I said, the riots in Vancouver,
wrong. We just
but look what they're up against, Loretta. Like when you got protesters that are fucking turning over fucking police cars and blowing them up, lighting fires in downtown Montreal, smashing up windows and smashing up fucking places.
That happens
exactly.
In Montreal.
So then exactly all the time. So how do you expect them to enforce that law? They have to protect the people that are trying to do that. That's what the
for sure. That's all wrong. But I just feel like there's a real breakdown in community engagement, and I'll take it back to the war on drugs as part of the problem that's why that happened, and people hating the police and all of that. Like, no, there's like so many things that we got to change. But I agree that we can't like just defund the police, but we can like. We have a gang problem here in Montreal. Sure, we need the police, but we can
re-educate. We
can
retrain the police.
Programs.
Right? Exactly.
But again, retraining, for these
re-education.
Kids to get into.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff that needs to be done. Right.
I think we're on the same page, really and truly. Yeah.
Like I said, retraining, re-education, refunding. Like you said, instead of defunding, the funds maybe can be, because like I know that. This was the worst thing. They defunded the police in Lethbridge. Okay, Lethbridge City Police. The city took away $1 million, which would have let half of their 7 staff members go. As it is, they're a crap bunch of fucks anyway. 5 of them fucking harassing an MLA and stuff and everything else. But they had enough in their slush fund to be able to come up with $1 million for that shortfall. So how much money is the police force putting away and squirreling away in their little fucking funds of fucking extra money
This is
Right.
Lethbridge you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Lethbridge.
I don't
Yeah.
know anything about
And
this.
5 of them, in fact, 2 of them just got let go without pay, I think. Basically a slap on the wrist, but they were harassing Shannon LePage. She's an MLA, an NDP MLA in Alberta. They were looking up her address. They were sending nasty memes in between, 5 of them.
Yeah, that's not cool.
No.
Yeah.
But this is the shit that goes on in private police forces, right? Not saying it doesn't happen in the RCMP either. They're for sexual assault and all kind of fucking shit going on. This is a systematic
All
problem we've
negative
got in all these
behavior.
institutions.
Yeah.
And it's because they're misogynistic fucking institutions with no diversity. And the women that work in these institutions, whether it's the military, whether it's a police force, whether it's a paramedic, as a fireman, they're all exposed to the misogynistic fucking old boys club. And that's not changed. And we're going into 2021. We're talking fucking 100
Well, I hope
years.
it's changed a little bit, but it hasn't changed enough. You're
It
right.
has not. I will guarantee you 110% it has not changed. And they can talk out one side of their fucking face about how they're changing it and things are going to get better. Until they prove it, until there's action, you can talk as much as you fucking want because actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And you can have a woman standing at the front of the fucking National Defense saying, I'm going to do all these things until she gets off her fucking chair and actually goes and does it. It's all blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No, we it's everything has to change. That's the truth.
When women are not being able, like, again, with this Nygaard case, this really triggered me too. And again, I mean, I'm talking about shit that it has got nothing to do with our show. Again, we seem to get away from that, but
we got ADHD.
That too. But the Nygaard thing really triggered me a lot is the fact that there's 4 women in Winnipeg that came forward. And their cases were not taken forward by the Crown. The police brought them forward. The police did the investigations. The police flew to Vancouver and investigated and interviewed and did all this fucking time, money out of the taxpayers' dollars for a Crown to turn around and say, I'm not gonna charge him. And then he gets charged in Toronto and he's being extradited back to the States. So this old creepy fucking pervert is fucking gonna get away with, like, no, these women aren't gonna get any justice, any validation, anything. Because they weren't valid enough to fucking charge, but the same creep is being charged by others. So what makes any other case more valid? Where does a Crown get to decide that a case is more valid than one?
This is why you have to study the law. So you could, I mean, it gets very technical.
It
gets very, it's
once I get the squirrels in a row,
complicated.
I will go back to school. But once I have to get these squirrels in a row, as you can tell, and then I will learn this shit. But right now, my focus is like,
no. I mean, let's be honest. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, Nygaard, none of these guys would have been taken to task. What's his name?
Right.
The Hollywood mogul. What was his name? Who got taken down?
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Okay, well, at least he's sitting in fucking jail, the old fucker.
Yes.
And Gazelle Maxwell's up right now, right?
Yes.
Epstein fucking hung himself, or he didn't hang himself, or he did hang himself. Like,
it's still unfair that fucking Trump is not in jail. That's for sure. But maybe he will be one day, because for sure.
Well, the pilot said that he flew Donald J. Trump.
Definitely.
To Mr. fucking Epstein's island.
Yeah.
Before he was president.
Yeah.
He did. The pilot, but there was also Bill Clinton and a few others in there too that you have to fucking wonder about. But if you're gonna say that Bill and Hillary Clinton are blood-sucking fucking baby pedophiles, then you better add old Donnie there to the fucking list, you fucking Pizzagate fucking freaks. Do you think that they like?
Okay, but.
They've got so many fucking conspiracies still going on that they think that Hollywood is a bunch of like blood-sucking baby eaters.
I know. Look. The saddest thing is they actually think Donald Trump is the Messiah. Okay, if that's not like
they think that John F. Kennedy's still alive.
Of mental illness, I don't know what is. But I mean, the truth is Bill Clinton obviously is guilty too.
I agree. Well, he was caught. He was caught. There is Monica Lewinsky.
But there's that age. There's that age of like these 70-year-olds. Like they got.
But here's the thing, I was
all
saying
kinds of shit.
Who was I saying? I can't remember who I was saying this to, but back in the 80s, okay, like I can't remember. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. It was okay. It was okay for you to have an old man that was 6 or 7 years older than you when you were 16, your 25-year-old boyfriend. That was cool because you were the mature. You were mature.
Right.
So if you looked at, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
really, like, so because my ex-husband, I was 16, he was 22.
Right.
That was a 6-year age difference right there. Like, what does a 22-year-old want with a 16-year-old, right? So as they get older, but back in the 80s, we didn't think anything of it. When we were called a mature girl, we thought that was cool, right? Like, let's face it.
God, in the 30s and 40s, you could be.
They were marrying when
you
they were
could be
13 and
13 and
14.
they could be 22. Like, what I
Right?
mean? Like, so
Look at
things
Elvis and
have
Priscilla,
improved. Things
right?
have
Like,
improved.
so like there's so many like fucked up fucking shit that they did before. I don't know when everybody decided to become moralistic. Oh, that's
Well,
right.
no,
When women decided
feminists.
not to be treated like a piece of fucking property.
Well, feminists,
That's when things changed.
made changes,
Exactly.
but not enough.
When women decided they weren't going to be treated like a piece of fucking property. Yet we're still treated like fucking property.
Yes.
Anyways, our hour's up. We better get off here before we keep ranting about more feminism and
But
turn on
the point is, it has improved. It really has, but
It
it's
has.
not enough. But it has improved, and we're gonna get there.
we will get there.
We're gonna get there before the world ends.
I don't know that. Like I
But
said,
our show must
volcano.
end.
There's so much shit going on. Who knows? Okay, well, say au revoir, mademoiselle.
Au revoir,
Mon ami.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Au revoir.
At least we try. Okay.
Yes. Have a good
Tune
night.
in next week. We will be back next week, same time, same pages, and with some more
God is
rhetoric.
blessed. Peace and love, bitches.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.